Well, we know the holidays can pose all sorts of challenges, and if you're a caregiver, it can even be more stressful. So how do you navigate it all? Well, we get advice from a TED Talk pro who has spent years taking care of his sick wife. And he says to really be the best caregiver you can be, it starts with taking care of yourself.
Doing this for 10 years? How do you do it?
Good.
God. I guess so.
Meet an optimistic and bubbly Charlene Nassany. She lost her speech and became paralyzed on the right side of her body at the age of 52.
So you know how to make dolls?
Yes.
And toll painting?
Yes.
And a seamstress?
Yes.
And a gourmet cook?
Yes.
And it go on and on and on, huh? The list is long. These are all your cookbooks.
Yes.
Charlene's husband Dave has documented much of their lives, and over the years, he's learned how to care for her.
Getting ready to go travel because the kids were old enough and we were empty nesters, and she complains that she's had this headache for 3 days.
The headache was the first sign. Within days, Charlene had a stroke that turned their lives upside down.
We almost broke up because we were just so stressed out. I was grieving the loss of my wife. She was grieving the loss of her body. But I hung in there.
Dave says the days were long, but he didn't begin to truly cope until he joined a support group.
I met people there just like me, burned out caregivers. And so I learned that if I didn't take care of me, I couldn't take care of my wife.
His message is something he now takes all over the country through best-selling books, a popular podcast, and TED Talks.
I didn't want people to go through the pain I went through. I didn't want them to suffer like I did. I didn't want them to give up like I almost gave up. Caregivers need to learn how to become selfish if they want to survive.
Becoming selfish to Dave means asking for specific help, putting your needs first, and learning when to say yes and no. Family therapist Alicia Taylor of Pinnacle Peak Recovery agrees. In fact, according to agingcare.com, 30% of caregivers die before the person they're caring for. Alicia says that could be the result of added stress, guilt, and feelings of isolation.
We feed off of connection. There are statistics out right now that say women who meet up with their friends at least 3 times a week are less likely to have strokes, heart attack, and have less stress when they do the stress test than women who do not.
Get over that silly notion if you can't do it all by yourself, you're a failure as a caregiver. That attitude will kill you.
It's been 23 years now, and Dave and Charlene are still navigating their new normal together. She still doesn't walk and can't communicate in full sentences, but Dave says their lives are full, and he reminds himself to live in gratitude each day.
It changed my life for the better. I am a better person as a result of this tragedy.
According to the Family Caregiver Alliance, about 44 million people in the United States provide unpaid care to an adult or child. The group also says most people are not prepared for the role, and sadly, they're doing this alone.
Yeah,
it is
tough.
tough.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, we also know the holidays can bring out all kinds of stress with all that you have to do. Thanks for reminding you, right? Plus getting together with families. So it's important that you take care of yourself so you can get through this okay.
Yeah, and that's why Ashley Taylor joining us again to explain why it's so important for self-care, especially this time of year. And more importantly, what does that really look like? What does that mean, right? We tell people, take care of yourselves first. Moms, take care of yourselves first. What does that even mean?
Yeah, and you were saying prepare before we even get there, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, you know this week is coming. If you're the cook, you know you're going to be up all night cooking. You know the kids are going to be running around. What are we going to eat, Mom? You know this is coming. So today, tomorrow, if you have time, if you've already grocery shopped, of course, get yourself a massage, take a hot bath, blow some bubbles. People don't realize that bubbles is so therapeutic. When you blow the bubbles, you take a breath in, and that's giving you that deep breath. Everybody's like, oh, I do deep breathing, Ashley.
Blowing bubbles.
That's a good idea.
Blowing bubbles, Play-Doh, anything that's tactile. Listen to music while you're cooking. Dance a little bit. Just loosen your body so that stress isn't already pent up before that mom or that sister-in-law that you don't like walks through the door. You know?
Nobody has any of those kind of family members. Come on.
Exactly.
Sadly, I mean, looking at the numbers of people who have to take care of others as a full-time job, we know it's stressful. What about when you do have an emergency? Is there a place for people to turn where I'm about to have a breakdown? Most people know that's coming if that's happening. They're feeling that stress, right?
So there's always hotlines for you to talk to, whether you're stressed out, you're suicidal, and you can Google those and they come right up. There's national hotlines. There's also urgent care psychiatric treatment centers, which most people don't know about. UPC Connections, Recovery Response Center in the West Valley, and then Community Bridges has, I think, about 2 to 3 locations where you could just walk in, bring your loved one, you tell them exactly what's going on, and they're going to see a psychiatric provider within 24 hours.
Really? I've never heard of this. So it's urgent care specifically for things that have to do with the mind and the emotions.
Absolutely. If you get incredibly depressed, if you're in psychosis, hearing voices, seeing things, any type of hallucinations you're having, if you're having a major anxiety attack and you don't quite want to go to an actual psychiatric hospital, which we have many of those, and those are open 24/7 also, such as Aurora, St. Luke's, Oasis, Quail Run. But yeah, if you don't want to go to a full psychiatric hospital and you want to go to urgent care where you're for sure going to see somebody within 24 hours, you can check out one of those.
What a great resource.
Yeah, it is. We always say, you know, just avoid the politic talk because it sets people off. And you mentioned family members who might say something, you know, about your appearance or whatever that might get you upset.
Absolutely.
Well, how do you handle those situations?
Be prepared.
Yeah.
Whatever they say, it's not the first time they said it. That's why you got so angry, right?
Good point.
This is a conversation that is starting back up again a year later or 6 months later. So if mom is always talking about the way you dress or your household, or she doesn't like your wife, or if your sister's always talking about how she's better than you, making more money, or your family doesn't like what you currently do, you know all those holiday movies where everybody's picking at each other. Be ready for it and just let it roll off your back. Take your stress ball with you. Get out a little bit of your plate.
That'll start a whole other fight.
That might start a family cake fight, right?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I'm going to take my advice from this side rather than this side on this one.
But yeah, take your coping skills with you. So like I said, listen to your favorite song while you're on your way there. Take your Play-Doh, take your bubbles, take your stress balls, take your meditation. There's so many meditation apps right now that you could just quickly pull up. Maybe go into the bathroom when everybody's getting on your nerves. Take some deep breaths. If you're a yoga person, get some yoga in before you go to that Thanksgiving meeting or Thanksgiving meal. Just do whatever you can that calms you down before you actually step foot in that Thanksgiving house.
I'm going to hear you on the radio later today going, take that stress ball and throw it at them.
He's gonna be like, I gave her that tip. Alicia, thank you so much. You always have such great insight into things. And, you know, if anything, just take a step back, like you said, and take a deep breath. You will get through it.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.